You may have decided you want to improve your finances. Maybe you're even thinking about investing. But before you invest, there's a crucial first step that matters more than people realize. And if you begin in the wrong order, you can work hard financially and still feel like you're not moving forward. So in this video, I want to simplify that first step and explain why it matters. Hi everyone, welcome back to Finance with Lisa Taylor, where we make money matters and investing simple to understand. Before we begin, here's a quick note to keep in mind as you watch this channel. If you're just starting to think seriously about improving your finances, one of the hardest parts is knowing what to do first. Because almost immediately, you begin hearing completely different advice. Start investing, use a TFSA, use an RRSP, open an account, buy stocks, buy ETFs, build an emergency fund, pay off debt. For many beginners, that is exactly where progress stops, because before anything has even begun, it already feels like too many decisions at once. And what makes it harder is that all of those things sound important. They all sound urgent. They all sound like something you should already understand. So a lot of people do what many beginners do. They wait. They tell themselves they will learn more later. They tell themselves they will begin when they feel more ready. But often, that delay lasts much longer than expected. And that's why understanding your first move matters so much. Because once the first step becomes clear, everything after that starts to feel much more manageable. For many people, the first step is not investing. The first step is paying off high-interest debt. And the reason is very simple. If debt is working against you, it becomes much harder for your money to grow, no matter how motivated you are to improve your situation. A very common example is credit card debt. Imagine you have a credit card balance charging 20% interest. At the same time, you decide to start investing and hope to earn 8 to 10% annually, which is roughly in line with the long-term historical average of the S&P 500. At first, investing feels like progress. And psychologically, it feels good to believe your money is finally doing something productive. But financially, something important is happening in the background. Your credit card debt is likely growing faster than your investments are increasing in value. Which means even while you feel like you are moving forward, part of your progress is quietly being pulled backward. And many beginners don't realize that at first. That is why high-interest debt usually needs your attention before investing begins in a serious way. Because every month you carry that balance, interest keeps taking money away from what could have helped you build savings, reduce stress, or create flexibility in your finances. And this matters, because improving your finances shouldn't be about trying to get rich quickly. It shouldn't feel like chasing the perfect move. And it shouldn't feel like you need to understand everything immediately. As we will discuss on this channel, it should be about something much more realistic than that. It should be about improving your financial position gradually, making thoughtful decisions, building habits that you can actually maintain, and creating a stronger future, one step at a time. Because real financial progress usually happens much more quietly than people expect. It happens through small decisions, repeated consistently over time. In fact, slow progress that continues is often far more powerful than fast decisions that do not last. Now, not all debt should be viewed the same way. A mortgage is very different from credit card debt because mortgage rates are usually much lower, and a home often increases in value over time. So when people say pay off debt first, they're usually talking about high-interest debt that costs a lot every month. For example, credit card balances, high-interest personal loans, or other expensive borrowing. Because once that kind of debt begins to come down, something important changes. More of your income becomes available, more choices become possible, and future decisions become easier. Then something else happens when debt starts coming down too. You begin to feel more in control. The stress starts to ease, progress becomes visible, and that matters, because improving your finances is not only mathematical, it's emotional too. When progress becomes visible, motivation usually becomes stronger. That's why your first step doesn't need to feel dramatic. It doesn't mean everything must be solved immediately. It simply means beginning where the financial pressure is strongest. because financial progress rarely begins with large amounts. It usually begins with a clear plan and consistency. Even small extra payments can create meaningful changes over time. Even one balance reduced is progress. Just one habit changed can begin creating momentum. And often, that first visible progress is what gives people enough confidence to keep going. If you are just beginning and wondering where to start, you should not feel pressure to do everything at once. You do not need a perfect financial life before progress begins. You simply need the right first step. And for many people, that first step is reducing the debt that is costing the most. Thank you for watching Finance with Lisa Taylor. I really appreciate your time.